A mystery woman has paid Madeleine McCann suspect Christian Brookner's £1,200 of outstanding fines. The monster's release date from prison is now confirmed for September 17.
In January this year, the German prosecutor leading the charge to pin the disappearance of Madeleine McCann on Christian Brookner went on the record to say there is no prospect of charges at this time. 6 months later, where are we? Well, the German cops rolled into town, and 3 days later, one day prematurely, they rolled back out. The British media stood on the sidelines waving their mics in the wind like cheerleaders without pom-poms. The media since then has tried to cast the case as a victory lap, where they brought out a case of beer and were celebrating their successful search, and some even took the bait and tried to run with it. Really? Were you expecting any evidence to be found? Were you? Are you? If you were, raise your hand.
You didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you? For a second there? Yeah, I kind of did. Silly rabbit.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear thoughts build up until I can't feel. My mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science. Now in the meantime, instead of charges, there is talk of Brookner's release date. But the real surprise is a mysterious donor who made it all possible. Before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Once again, I just want to recommend that you watch the Netflix documentary on Titan, on the Titan submersible. There's also a documentary on Discovery, and then also one on YouTube made by 60 Minutes. All of these provide some fascinating perspectives on the Titan submersible story. I've also been covering it. If you've never watched anything on it, maybe give it a gander and you might find it quite interesting, especially Stockton Rush and his mysterious psychology behind it all. If you're finding this analysis worthwhile, please hit the thanks button and let's get started. Now, according to The Independent, an outstanding fine against the main suspect in the 2007 disappearance of British toddler Madeleine McCann in Portugal has been paid off. That's what German prosecutors said at the time. It means that he could be released from prison in a separate case in mid-September, actually September 17th, instead of January next year. So literally what's taking place is this suspect that's supposed to be charged at any moment, evidence linked to him at any moment, his release date is actually being moved up. He's going to be set free sooner rather than later. Prosecutors in Braunschweig confirmed that an unpaid fine of about €1,450 against the suspect has been paid, and that's according to the German news agency. That's pretty official. Prosecutors saying, as I understand it, that he's going to be released early. Would they really be saying that if there was some evidence in the offing?
I didn't think so.
The strangest thing about this is the donor. According to The Sun, the woman who has paid for the prime Madeleine McCann suspect's early release has been revealed as a cop who had been investigating him. The mystery donor settled a £1,300 outstanding court fine, which means Christian Brookner will walk free in less than 3 months. That's on September 17. In fact, this woman is a former officer with the BKA, that's Germany's FBI. Again, if they found anything in the dirt in this search, would a former cop really be coming to his aid in this way? According to The Sun, she says she was involved in bugging Brookner's prison cell. Allegations had emerged in court last year as the German was cleared of all charges. The plot thickens even further when this woman said that she made, can you believe it, made the payment by mistake. She reportedly believed the fine was due to Brookner insulting a police officer, something she said wasn't justified. Now, to me, that sounds like she's saying, I don't think he deserved this fine. He didn't deserve to pay this amount of money because he said something, right? And then she also went on to say, I never had personal contact with him. In other words, obviously she's discounting any kind of friendship or relationship with him. But then when confronted over the fine payment, the woman bizarrely told Spiegel, that's the German newspaper, that it had been a misunderstanding and she had tried in vain to reverse the payment.
Silly rabbit.
All right, I'm not going to take it further than that, but just in terms of coverage that I'm going to be doing later on this channel, we're going to look at the situation in Ireland at a Irish Catholic mother and baby home where almost 800 babies were found. Now, if you're talking about the Madeleine McCann case, we're looking for one child. In this case, it's almost 800. And then coming back to the Madeleine McCann case, there are two sort of areas that I really want to go into in more detail. It's sort of moving away from the Brookner saga, which I think we do need to do. The one is, how does one think about this case in terms of a search, in terms of searching intuitively? That might sound like a very strange and confusing question, but there's a very specific and very interesting answer to that question. And you're going to see how we deal with it. It certainly is an intuitive approach, which I think is actually quite valuable and maybe quite underestimated. Then I also want to look at an article that appeared in the Times. Do cultural differences explain how we see Madeleine differently? Is it a case of cultural blindness from the British side or cultural blindness from the Portuguese side, perhaps even cultural blindness from the German side? Does culture have anything to do with it?
In Liverpool, her grandparents defended her parents against suggestions that they shouldn't have left the toddler in the apartment while they ate at a restaurant yards away.
Why would you think something like this would happen? You make a decision, you think it's okay, and this time it wasn't. And Kate and Jerry have to live with that, which is dreadful. They don't need pressure from people saying that they made a mistake. They know this was a mistake, but it wasn't child neglect, it wasn't not caring for your children. Kate and Jerry's children are the most important thing in their lives.
Also, I'd like to know from you, what do you think is going to happen in the next 3 or 4 months between now and September 17? Do you think there's going to be a breakthrough? Do you think there's evidence that's going to be found against Brookner? Or do you think he's going to be released? And if he is released, do you think he will remain the prime suspect in this case? And do you think he should remain the prime suspect in this case? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.